Welcome aboard, it's Captain G. So we're starting day 2. Let's go around the horn and take a look at where we are. So we'll start over here in Europe. So the Civil War still rages in Yugoslavia. Both sides have built up. The aggressive capitalist West have built up all kinds of.
Sure, these are the.
Those look like tanks, so main battle tanks, and the peaceful Soviet southern Yugoslavian forces have some tanks, mechs, and air. This is the NATO fleet right here in the Adriatic. We have the Soviet Liberation Force that has brought Austria into the fold for communism. You see a massive stack of tanks here for Warsaw Pact that Ozark Outpost has ready. And then before we leave the Med, NATO's completely abandoned Greece. They're not honoring their treaty obligations to the people of Greece. And Warsaw Pact has a defensive force here in Bulgaria. If we go over to this part of Europe, this task force marker is Soviet Army in Germany, CA, which is this massive task force. Multiple air cav, multiple attack helicopters, multiple mechs, next gen MBTs as well as early gen MBTs galore, all kinds of artillery. That is the big force there. NATO has not really reinforced their frontline forces. These are the starting next gen MBTs and SAM, starting next gen MBTs and SAM. They have put in one airborne unit, one German airborne unit there in North Germany. But they've beefed up Denmark, they've beefed up Rhineland for a counterpunch. The U.S. has sent in more A-10s and stealth bombers in Rhineland. Am I showing you Rhineland? Sorry. They've also built up Benelux. And then the U.S. has built up more aviation assets in southern England. And the NATO fleet is right off the coast of North Germany. So that's the situation. The Soviets, in addition to their Austrian force, have a massive air mobile task force. Airborne attack helicopters, air cav,
I've got plenty of
to reinforce perhaps their Warsaw Pact allies, or perhaps to liberate the Finnish and Swedish workers from their capitalist overlords.
For screwing into the base.
Coming back to the Pacific,
the last bunch I had some.
Not much change from our last update. India is
Hey, that's the extra tall ones too.
they've won the border conflict. Pakistan's completely empty because the West, their military aid, quote unquote, has been cruisers and frigates into Pakistan, which again serves their purposes in augmenting their fleet. And not doing anything for the people of Pakistan. So they've abandoned Pakistan and just used that as an excuse to build up their navy, which I may decry for propaganda purposes, but for strategy purposes, that's very smart of them. And then here in China, still have our mobile air attack force. I don't need them on the front line defending. China continues to build the Great Wall of China out of paramilitary units on both the east and west fronts. So it's stagnated. I still have a large force here, and the U.S. has forward deployed their fleet into Hawaii. They can move 4, so they can move very far. They can move into Guam. They can move to Japan.
What do you think about that, Chris?
And finally, we come down to Southeast Asia. Philippines producing Soviet ships. The U.S. has got a couple nuclear attack subs on silent running right off the coast of Philippines, up to no good, I'm sure. And the Soviet naval fleet is sitting here peacefully off the coast of Vietnam.
I think I just got 5.
Next up, we're halfway through turn 5, so next up will be the Soviet Far East Command. If we look at the IPP, the U.S. Pacific Command is at DEFCON 3 at 16 IPP, and they can go to DEFCON 2 at 17. Very interesting. Yeah. So that's not their status, but they went to DEFCON 3 at 13. They're now at 16. This turn they will go to DEFCON 2, which means they'll be able to declare war. So the Soviets are going to have to proactively do something about that. We'll see what that is. Scap G, over and out.